Michael T. Porter, and I'm bringing the news to you like no other. We got another bomb live, y'all. Another bomb live. Look at them little people's hands. That's us. That's the American people. That's the American folks, and that's the elitists up top. Look at that big bag of money. See that control? See the earth? They control the earth. All that money, and they try to give us crumbs. Let's see. Or depends. Are corporations greedy? No, I do it better one. Do corporations I don't know. Corporation. Yeah, let's see. Play a quick game. See if I can get one round in. Oh, there's a laser, y'all. Yeah. All right, got me one round in. Too bad, wasn't too bad. Look, y'all. There's some cheap bastards. There's a trend going around, y'all, out here in America that these corporations are making more and more money, and instead of giving people bonuses, a livable wage, they're getting paid in pizza. That's right, pizza. Domino's, Pizza Hut. There's tons and tons of pizza places, but instead of giving American people a honest wage, a livable wage, they have sat around and said, even though we projected to make, you know, 500 million today. I mean, 500 million this year. We made a billion. We actually doubled what we anticipated to make, and that extra 500 million, we could go into, taking care of our employees, getting better health care for our employees. We can do a whole bunch of things to make sure that our employees are happy, but we're just going to give them pepperoni pizza. And a lot of times when you get the pizza, it's not even hot. Even it's not even the pizza that it's not even the pizza that people took their time to make. How does a company make that much money and then sit around and say, we're gonna work you guys harder? No raises, no bonuses. This is why it's absolutely important in today's time. These owners are getting cheaper and cheaper. The cost of living going up. The rich is getting significantly rich in this day and time. It's always been prevalent. This is the time to be an entrepreneur. This is the time to something, own. But I want to take a little quick history lesson. America has always been on cheap labor. Cheap, cheap labor. This. Oh, hold on, y'all. We got some trolls. Why somebody wherever that mean? Yeah, so America's driven off slavery, cheap labor, and don't want to pay. They don't want to pay taxes. They don't want to pay their employees. They just want to get that money. A whole bunch of. This is why I have no sympathy for corporations. I have no sympathy. It's all a brainwashing mechanism. If you don't know the history about businesses, then you just out the loop. But slavery was the best thing for the elites because it gave them such a head start. But here's the thing. America went to war with Great Britain. Why? Why did Great Britain and the United States go to war? Why? Because Great Britain was taxing America so harshly that it was interfering with their profit. Because see, at that time, America's getting greed. American greed has always been here. American greed is what drove America and Great Britain to go to war. American greed and Great Britain's greed. Great Britain and America were the same. They're greedy. They want to work their people for nothing. People sacrificing time away from their family, sacrificing time from things they want to do to come and slave away for a company that's going to kick them out. This is why, now let's fast forward slavery. Then we went to the Civil War, Great Britain and America. Now we're going to fast forward to the early 1900s where the unions were formed. Unions were formed because corporations were stealing the pension. Corporations still in America will always have a slave mentality, always have a slave master mentality. Work, yo. If we're gonna work the American people so damn hard and then penalize them and punish them when they don't show up to work. This is why I am so determined to get out and own as much as I can before I leave Earth. No, nobody's telling me what to do. Nobody's telling me. That's why I love YouTube. That's why I love doing things that I love doing and making money off it, because nobody's gonna tell me how much money. Not only they tell you how much money you're gonna make. Most corporations, they don't want to give you overtime, so they literally put you in a position to where you can't even survive off the wage hourly, and you can't even like, okay, you know what? I don't make that much, but how about I go in and maximize this opportunity? How about, you know what? Let me stop complaining. Let me see if I can just work some overtime so I can at least pay my bills on time and get a little bit of a head start. And the company said, no, we ain't paying you no damn overtime. Get your whole ass up out of here. Let's see. Shout out to Acidrin, the ingredients in anti-aging creams, bro. That sounds like witchcraft. Shout out to two Fuller of this country dumping tea. Now the younger generations have low tea. Yeah, the younger generation. Oh, them youngsters ain't trying to work, bro. Y'all know them youngsters? They not trying to work. They're not. You know what's crazy? Let me tell y'all. So I gave y'all a brief history lesson. Slavery. Then we went to the Civil War. Then we went to the creation of unions and how the companies didn't want to pay pensions. They were still in the pensions when pensions were still alive. That's so crazy that people work so hard only to be robbed. These corporations have been robbing American people since the beginning. Now let's fast forward to 401k. The 401k has replaced the pension, but the 401k is nowhere near the same. They call it a retirement plan, but you really can't retire on it because you're going to be paying so much in taxes by the time you get your money. By the time you get your money, you're gonna be paying taxes on it. Now the pensions, let's say you average 70,000 for 40 years. You gotta be with a company for so many quarters. Let's say you be with a company for 30 years. You're eligible for a pension. You're set for life. This is what everybody was working for. I give this company hard work, honest days work. Show up on time. I follow the company's policies. Yada yada. And I do this for 30 years, 30, 40 years. And then they say I average 60,000 throughout my career. You get $60,000 until you die. That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. $60,000 a year. That's pretty nice. They're gonna do an average of what you made, and the company's gonna continue to pay. The companies ain't paying you if you ain't working today. When your 401k stops, when your ass stop clocking in. Once you stop clocking in for good, then your money stops. There is no, oh, we're gonna give you a pension. We're gonna continue to pay you, even though you're not clocking in, helping us make millions and billions. Oh no, them days has been over. And a lot of people argue about the 401k and how much you gotta pay in taxes if you got a lot in your 401k. And that's why I say people don't like 401ks. They rather get a Roth IRA, and everybody trying to figure out. Everybody's right now scrambling. How are we going to get out of this system? How us, the American people, going to get out of this system? Everybody's trying to look for their retirement plan. A lot of people trying to retire early. A lot of these people trying to retire early. That's why people looking for the IRAs and Roth IRAs and all this stuff. People working 2 and 3 jobs. People trying to get into really. People don't want to be working and giving their life to no damn corporation. Now, with that being said, a lot of people love their job. A lot of people love their job. So if you love your job, hey, shout out to you. I'm gonna put a picture up of this guy right here. Hold on. This is the owner of the Trailblazers. The new owner, Tom Dundee, and word on the street, Portland don't like this man. They say this man is cheap, the cheapest NBA team ever. Don't want to pay the coaches. He don't want to give anybody. He don't give them no damn money. These NBA teams want everybody to take a pay cut, and because the market's being set so high, or the better you play, the more you get paid. That's usually how it goes. But the way that the sports are going, there's so much money in sports now. Owners are trying to capitalize on it, but they don't want to pay their players. They don't, especially their best players. They don't want to pay their best players. They're telling their best players to come sit down. Let's have a meeting. Oh boy, here we go. Let's have a meeting. Meeting about what? I'm the MVP of the league. I'm averaging 29 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds. I mean, what? No, we need you to come in. Come in. In order to sustain our health, this is a team sport, and we know for a $300 million contract. But we was wondering if you can take a pay cut. What? Wondering if I take a pay cut. I ain't taking no pay cut. What the hell you talking about? I ain't taking no pay cuts because these are the same people, you know, they selling and buying these teams for billions of dollars. Did you take a cut? Or did you come out this deal trying to get the best out the deal? I'm trying to get the best out the deal. Nobody wants to pay from NBA. We all know about Wally World, Walmart. Walmart's, oh my God, Walmart makes so much damn money and they don't want to pay them people nothing. I think Walmart employees get paid, what, $15, $16? This is why it's important. If you don't, this is why it's important to get a skill, get some type of skill. This is very important to skills and ownership. Skills, ownership, and marriage. That's how you're going to get out. That's how I believe people are going to get out. You got to have a skill because now your expertise are in demand. Your expertise are in demand. And now you can negotiate. When you don't have any skills, when you don't have nothing going for yourself, you can't negotiate nothing. Marriage is good because you have dual income. So if you have your skills, now your salary is gonna go up significantly, right? And then you get married. Now you're doubling your income, and then you get ownership, real estate, have a side business. There's ways to get out, but just going to work and expecting to survive them days is over. They're not playing. They don't want to pay you. They don't want to pay me. They don't want to pay nobody. Why these corporations don't want to pay y'all? Y'all gotta pay. Here's the system: prisons and the justice system's put in place to make sure you make these people rich. So you're either gonna make these people rich on the outside, or you're gonna make these people rich when you go to jail. Either way, you're gonna work. Either way, you gonna work. They're gonna make sure that in the outside world, it's slavery, it's modern day slavery, right? But if you try to break the law and get ahead, sell a little something, scam a little something, we got a place for you called the penitentiary. So the justice system is put in place not only to lock up bad people, quote unquote, it's to defer you from it's to defer you from committing crimes. They don't want you to commit crimes because they want your ass on their clock. They want you on the clock. Let's check out the polls. Are corporations, oh, 50-50. 50% say yes, 50% say no. Yeah, these corporations ain't playing, y'all. They for pizza. These corporations making all kinds of money. They trying to give people pizza, donuts. I don't want no damn pizza. I don't want no damn donut. I want some money. I want my money. I want my money. You know, there's a rule in there's a policy, don't discuss wages when you go to work. A lot of people who stay with these companies, show loyalty to these companies, get screwed day in and day out. They get screwed. They get bent over. So this is a true story. Let me tell y'all a quick story. My homegirl I used to work with, she been with the company I was with. She was there for 10 years. She was there for 10 years. And you know how corporations are, they ain't trying to pay nobody. So she was there for 10 years, and this is why they say don't discuss wages. The people who just got hired, she found out that they got paid the same amount as her. She's been there 10 years, and the people coming in are getting paid what she's getting paid. Do you hear what I'm saying? 10 years of work, and the person who just got on to the company getting paid the same. When she found that out, 2 weeks later, she put her 2 week notice in. She said, "That's not right. That I've been here 10 years. They didn't want to give any raises. They barely wanted to give bonuses. They got bonuses, but they're really tiny bonuses. They didn't want to really take care of their employees, paying peanuts, paying peanuts." And she's an older one. She sit there and tell me that some kids who just graduated with no skills getting paid the same as me. In other words, if you've been on a company, you should be getting paid much more, way more than somebody coming in. It's getting so bad. You can be on the company, be with the company for 10, 15 years, and you're getting paid damn near the same as a person that just walked in the door. That just walked in the door. Y'all getting paid the same. Shout out to the Silver Wanderer. Check out Pastor Mike Hogarth. Okay, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta become a company. Yeah, you gotta own something. You gotta own your own company. I don't see nothing wrong with working for somebody while still working on your own dreams, where you gotta have your own money. You gotta find a way, whether even if it's stocks. Stocks may take a little bit longer, but your money gonna compound, and You got to make your money grow without you working. You got to find different ways to make your money grow. Get with somebody, a financial advisor, help you understand how money work. But you have to have your name on something, ownership, own a franchise, a multi-unit, a multi-unit franchise, own a couple of franchises, get some turnkeys in real estate. Right now, the way it's going, these people don't simply just don't want to pay. Hell, hey, boss man, you think I've been on the job for 10 years. I'm rarely late. I was thinking if I can get a raise, and then they set the raise for you. A while, people would get raised based off, you can go in and negotiate a wage. I mean, a raise. You can go in there and negotiate a raise. Right now, you can't even negotiate a raise. They tell you how much you're going to get paid. I want you to think about that. They already going to determine how much they're going to pay you. A raise was usually based off a person's work ethic, but now everybody get a raise. This is why nobody's working hard. Yeah, black business owners start their own chamber of commerce. Yeah, you gotta start your own damn business. So you gonna sit there and tell me I come to work all day, every day. This joker barely shows up, but we get the same raise amount because, and most of the time when they give you a raise is what, 50 cent, a dollar, 50 cent to a dollar. Usually you can go in for a raise. I've been here 10 years, 15 years. You're getting paid $20. You're trying to get 23. I've been here 15 years. I need you to up the ante. I've proven to you how valuable I am. And here's the thing: instead of giving wages, if you're trying to ask for more than what the company is, we all write this down. I'm telling you from experience. If you're trying to ask these companies for more than what they're willing to pay, use, like I said, use your company's willing to pay 50 cent to a dollar, and you've been there all these years. If you're asking for $3, say you ask for a $3 raise, You've been here 15 years. You're asking for a $3 raise. You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna be like, okay, we're gonna take this into consideration, and we're gonna get back to you. Before they tell you no, the company is gonna put out a now hiring sign. They're gonna go to Indeed or ZipRecruiter, and they're gonna start looking for a new employee. You don't know about it. You don't know that the company that you just asked for a raise, you don't know that before they tell you no, they already started looking for another employee. It's called chess. Because if you're asking for that type of money, this means that you're not satisfied, which means you're gonna probably quit anyway. So to keep the right amount of staff, before they tell you no, like I said, they already started looking for somebody else. And if your punk ass keep complaining, this goes for everybody. They're going to replace you. This is why the population growth, it kind of hurts everybody because you are replaceable. You are replaceable. A lot of times, the only reason why people stay so long because they got bills. The only reason why people stay so long, they got bills. The other half of the people act like their job. But even if you like the job or you just there just to pay some bills or you're there for the benefits, the moment you start getting yours, that's why I don't believe in there's such thing as greed. There's a such thing as greed. Greed is not an amount of money. It's when you compromise your morals. When you allow greed to blind you and alter who you are as a person, where money becomes everything. It's not about treating people right, so on and so forth. When greed is not a dollar amount, is when you begin to compromise who you are and blind yourself to what's really going on. So you are replaceable. But they want you to tell them your whole life story. Well, why are you calling off? Do you let us know when you call off? In some jobs, you can't even call off the first night. I can't call off the first 90 days. I can't call off the first 90 days. A lot of these jobs have, especially out here in Texas, they got point systems. If you're working in them warehouses, they got a thing called a point system. You're late, that's half a point. You miss a day, that's a full point. and you only get so many points before they fire you. Say a company say you only get 9 points, but here's the thing: the points fall off. Depends on the company. Some companies are 6 months. Some companies, your half a point don't fall off for a whole year. I used to work at a company like that. We was on a point system, and that point system was terrible. That point that you earned didn't fall off for a whole year. So let's say you had 7 points, and your next point don't fall off for 2 months. For 2 months, you got, in other words, you're walking on eggshells with these damn companies. There's no slip ups. They don't want you to call off. They want, you are literally a slave. And I have to remind us, because we get so caught up in paying bills, we get so caught up in getting money and trying to elevate and doing this and going to school and taking care of kids. We lose sight that this is some slave stuff. This is why it is absolutely important, well, at least for me, to not have somebody tell me what to do. When I want to go travel, I like to travel. I like to be on my phone. I like to conduct business deals. I like to create. I like to create. I have a creative mind. So I don't like being told what to do. I don't like being contained in a box. And going through all of this, in the back of your mind, you are a slave that can be replaced at any time. So what's the point of being loyal? There ain't no point in being loyal, in my opinion. Unless you really like the job. But even if you really like the job, you still gotta have something in your name. Real estate, a franchise, a turnkey. You gotta have something. A turnkey is, for those of you that don't know, is a business that's already operating. You just taking over as owner. A lot of people find turnkeys more attractive because you don't have to start from the ground up. You don't have to bring people and look for people. People are already, there's already traffic going inside of this establishment already, so you don't have to put in the extra time and effort for marketing and getting people to come in and doing this and doing that. But either way, either you're going to start from the ground up or you get a turnkey. You got to own something. That's a horrible life for somebody to tell you what to do, and at the end of the road, you stay with this company. Unless you like a doctor, lawyer, pilot, something very dangerous, something that takes many years of school to do. I mean, there's ways to get a lot of money, but but just working, them days is over. Like your great grandfather and your great grandmama and them days is over. One good thing about the great grandparents and their grandparents, late the late 1800s, early 1900s. The great thing about them days is that a lot of them had land and they can grow their own food. In today's time, they're building these homes with no land, with no backyard, with no front yard. So you're forced to go to the grocery store. See, it's all a game. It's forcing you to pay. We're the elites has got us enslaved, y'all. That's what I'm pretty much saying. You are a slave. Somebody's telling you what to do. Telling you what to do. Grown person, you gotta check in like a child. You have to check in like a damn child. I got stuff to do. Can't go to the concert. It is so bad with some of these companies. They're even checking your social media to see what you're doing, to see if you are a bad mouth, to see what kind of person you are. Why do you care what's on my social media? It's my social media. They say, well, it's public. Yeah, but you see, there's some fine lines. Some companies say like you feel very strongly about a political party. Well, that entity that you work for may not agree, and now they're gonna pick on you. But it's illegal for them to use information on your social media and try to, I forgot the corporate term, to get a case going on you, to get you fired. All this back and forth, all this HR BS, all this crap. That's why I love when I clock out, I get to be myself again. Like, ooh, Lord. They don't want to pay y'all. American greed ain't going nowhere. We see it every day. American greed ain't going nowhere. Let's see. Bunch of cheap bastards. Look at that. Look at all that goddamn money. Look at them little hands. See them little hands? Let's see, did the poll change? But yeah, I just want to drop this off, y'all. It's ridiculous how much money these people are making and refusing to pay. But y'all trust these corporations? Is it worth this life? Sacrificing time away from your family, sacrificing time from the things you want to do, sacrificing your sanity, being a regular average, you will be slapped around like a $2 hooker. Get a skill, hopefully find someone, get married that's dual income and ownership. Skill, marriage, ownership. That's what I believe how it's gonna get. That's the best way to go about it. But y'all let me know. Those who've been rocking me since day one. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all too. You're gonna make great decisions and being devoted to a company that is ripping you off is not a great idea. Being devoted, being committed to a company that's going to replace you the moment you start taking charge, the moment you start asking for more, is not a great decision. Damn.